Hi and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. Today we are remaking something that I made 2 years ago, which is my bicycling jacket. This is the one I made. It's made out of green cotton canvas, and as you can see it's become a little bit of a tight fit because, well, I've put on some weight. I really want to make one that fits me better, isn't as tight, and that it's made out of wool, so I can use it as more like a winter jacket. So that's what we're making today. We're remaking my bicycling jacket that I made 2 years ago. And here's a little close-up of the one that I made. This was actually just a mock-up, but I ended up using it not as a mock-up because it turned out really well. So I thought, you know what? I really want to make another one, so let's make it in wool this time. And the wool that I've got here is something that I got from a good friend of mine. It's kind of funky. This is the pattern I've pulled out of my little storage bin, and these are the pattern pieces. I made it a little bit bigger on the sides just to make it fit a little more comfortable, and so I can wear a big knitted sweater underneath. All the pieces cut out, and I'm going to be putting on some extra layer that I'm basting together. This is going to be at the upper part, or the body part of the jacket. Just basting those together. I'm hoping this is going to make it warmer. And here's a little snapshot of my working space. Yeah, it's not the biggest, but it works. Everything basted nicely together. All the assembly marks on. Yeah. Sewing it all together, one piece at a time. And here you can see that the things that are basted together are on the body piece of the jacket. Now I just need to make some sleeves, some big lovely puffy sleeves. And I'm just marking off all the assembly marks again. I'm going to put a pin in that, and then I'm going to be using the pins as a guide for making all the folds on top of the sleeve, where you fold in from one side and then in from the opposite direction on the other side, so they meet on the top of the shoulder. This fabric is a bit tricky to get right on camera because it's so red and so blue, so the quality of the picture kind of fades in and out through all of this video, so yeah, I'm sorry. Exposure, yeah. But here you can see it meets all at the top of the sleeve. All those little folds, or well, big folds. And here they are, all sewn together. Now I just need to put them on. And this this is not as tricky as regular sleeves because the folds are so folded that you don't have to, have a gathering thread. You just put the sleeve in, aligning with the assembly marks, and then it works. It's actually kind of awesome, even though it looks really complicated because the sleeves are so big. But one sleeve pinned in. I'm going to do the same with the other sleeve. Sew that in. Here they are on. This is the outer part of the jacket. And I'm going to put on the collar on the... Well, I'm just going to sew that on with with some of the blue fabric underneath as well, to give it some structure. These are all the lining pieces. All of that, going to sew that together. Ta-da! And now the fabric looks black. It's impressive. Anyways, I'm going to put that in that one. And here I have, this is like a shoulder pad that kind of helps keep the big sleeve part up. So here they are. I made two, fold them together and made a little channel at the top. And I'm going to stuff that with some of my leftover fabric. I probably should have used cotton batting, but I didn't have that, so I took what was closest, which was some scrap fabric. They became a little bit too heavy, but I made it work. I'm going to put a little pin in that, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other side, or the other shoulder pad thingy, shoulder upholder. And then we're going to sew those in at the top of the sleeve. Ta-da! Oh, squishy. And first I put them right at the seam allowance and tried to sew those in, but then they were too floppy, so I moved them a little closer, the big part a little closer to the shoulder seam, and then sewed that in, as you can see here, and then made it stay much better in place. And I'm just using a big old needle and just, you know, giving that some running stitches so it won't go anywhere. Kind of awesome. Here you can see shoulder pads in. So now they keep their shape. Now I'm going to put that in that. So I'm turning the pieces inside out, and then I'm going to pin them together and sew them together. And then I'm going to turn it over. So I'm going to make a little gap at the bottom of the jacket where I can turn the whole thing through. Just because that's a lot easier for me to do, and because it's wool, so when that is all done, you can just press it, and all the sides, or the kanterne, all the edges will look nice and crisp. That's a good thing about wool. You can press the heck out of it with a wet towel. So here I'm just turning it all around. Making sure everything is out. And I'm just putting it on the dress form to see how it all fits together. Just fiddling around, making sure that the lining fits and aligns with the sleeves. Finding my little lining. Again, making sure that everything fits. I'm just going to press all the edges. Ta-da! Edges all pressed. Just look at it. Isn't it wonderful? All happy and smiley. And again, this fabric is so hard to film because it's so red. So my camera had a hard time, you know, exposure. Yeah. And I'm just going to sew this by hand. Yeah, puppy! Puppy break. This is my puppy Tulip. Well, she's not really a puppy anymore. She's getting really big. She's 8 months at this point. Anyways, I am sewing things in by hand. Looks all lovely. Doing the same thing with the bottom as well. When everything is sewn in and sewed together, I'm going to be making the folds at the bottom of the jacket, trying to get the shape right, because there is, well, in theory there is these sharp edges on the back pieces on the bottom, so you have like a guide to fold them in right. But as it happened with the first one, it also happened with this one, that they kind of get more rounded, so it can be a little hard to see where you're supposed to fold them. So I'm just going by Gefühl. I'm not really stressing about if they are the same size or anything. I'm just making them fit and sit as they're kind of supposed to. And then I'm going to be using my trick with a wet towel and my iron, and I'm just going to press it into place, getting it all wet and steamy. And then I'm going to be pulling the fabric a bit just to make it sit right. Again, that's the good thing about wool. You can make it fit and sit with some little heat and some water. It's amazing. As you can see, it's all steamy, so I'm just going to tuck the seams a little bit to make sure that they all fit, or kind of is the same length from the outside, even though you can't see it anyways when you wear it, because they are all fluffy over your butt. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And all this takes is just some time and some patience, and it will turn out awesome. And here it is, all pressed, and I'm going to use my old jacket as a guide to find where I want my buttons to sit, and all my little buttonholes. So that is just what I'm doing here. And these are my buttons, little silver ones. Just measuring out how big they are so I can make my buttonholes the right size. And here it is, all done and on. I'm kind of proud of this one. It fits better now. I can fit clothes underneath it. And again, this is so red and so blue that my camera has a hard time picking it up. The color of the real color of this jacket, but just look at it. Isn't it awesome? It fits, it sits. I can fit stuff underneath it. It has the little riffly bit and the bottom. Yeah, I kind of like it. I think it's awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!